One rainy evening, a young man named Mark received a letter, sealed with a wax stamp. No return address, no name, just his. The handwriting was elegant, almost otherworldly. He opened it slowly, curious but cautious. Inside, a single sentence was written. The key to your future lies within the house on Willow Street. Come, if you dare. Mark had never heard of Willow Street. But something about that letter, it nodded him. He couldn't shake the feeling that it was meant for him. Without thinking twice, he grabbed his coat and headed into the night. Mark arrived at the house an hour later, his footsteps echoing in the quiet street. The house was old, its windows boarded up, and the front door creaked ominously as he pushed it open. Inside, everything was covered in dust, as though no one had lived there for years. Yet, there was a strange energy, a pull in the air that urged him forward. In the center of the living room, a table stood, and on it, an old, ornate key exactly like the one from the letter. He hesitated but picked it up. It felt warm, almost alive. The moment his fingers touched it, the house seemed to react. The walls groaned, and the lights flickered. Mark followed the sensation, down a narrow hallway to a wooden door at the end. It was locked. He inserted the key into the lock, and to his surprise, it turned easily. The door creaked open, revealing a dark, cold room. But the strangest thing was the mirror on the far wall. It wasn't just any mirror, it reflected a different version of the room, one that was not quite right. Suddenly, Mark heard a voice, soft, distant. It whispered his name. You shouldn't have come. He froze. His heart pounded. The air turned ice cold as the reflection in the mirror began to move, not in sync with him, but as if something or someone was standing behind him. Mark turned around, but there was no one there. His mind raced. He reached out to touch the mirror, and as soon as his hand made contact, the reflection in the glass seemed to reach back. But it wasn't him. It was something darker, something twisted. A sudden jolt ran through his body as the room began to distort, the walls stretching and warping, the air heavy with a presence that had been waiting for him to unlock the door. In that moment, Mark understood. The letter had been a warning. The key was never meant to help him, it was meant to trap him. The next morning, the house on Willow Street was gone. Not destroyed, but vanished, as though it had never existed. No one ever found Mark again. And the key? Well, it was found on the table in his apartment, covered in dust, as if it had been waiting for him to return. Some say the house still exists, somewhere, in another place or time. And if you ever find a letter with no return address, you might want to think twice before you follow its instructions.